Tom, you had asked me a question, and I'll just kind of jump in and we can free for all a little bit. What was the question you asked me about my writing?
I don't think
I think he was just making fun of you. He was just teasing you.
No. I was checking to see if you could hear me, so I called you a hack. No, I was talking about all those places you're going in, those trails, and you saw that chair, that busted chair.
Ah, yes.
And, maybe get off of it.
Yep. Yeah, that was it was pretty funny because I'll post a picture in here in the in the post production. I don't know if you saw it, Chuck. I was just out walking and I found this old beat up chair and I'm like, well, this isn't creepy at all. One of those little plastic lawn chairs. And someone posted on there and said, oh, it's the throne of Pan. And I said, yeah, but you know what? If Pan was in Clifton Heights, he'd probably be some old hillbilly who drinks moonshine and he's got no teeth. No teeth, and instead of playing pan flute, he probably has a fiddle or something like that. And then
banjo.
Yep, exactly. That's what Pan would look like if he was in Clifton Heights. No, Tom had asked me if I would ever write anything not based in Clifton Heights.
That's good.
Yeah, that was the question for viewers who may be new to us or are new. All the writing that I've done for the most part is all in the same imaginary town. And I'm trying to work on a novel right now because it's a double-edged sword. Dipping into Clifton Heights is like going back to familiar territory. It's comfortable, and that makes it much easier to write. Plus, I feel like it's the type of town that has unlimited storytelling potential. Like, I could write a short story and submit it to any anthology. And it could be a Clifton Heights story, but depending on the anthology, it could be about anything, And then, if I have a collection, it just builds the mythology more. But it's also, am I stuck only writing, stories in Clifton Heights? So, obviously, I do have a novel that's being beta read that hopefully will get back to me soon, the Billy the Kid novel. And that's in the Billy the Kid and the Regulators and Monsters, and so that's a weird Western. But I am kind of toiling with a novel right now that happens in the Adirondacks, but I don't want it to be Clifton Heights, quite simply because I want to blow the whole town up. I literally only want 3 people to be standing when the novel's done. I kind of want to pull a Needful Things where Stephen King decided, okay, I'm just going to blow up, Castle Rock. Although he's since returned to Castle Rock, so he didn't really blow it up entirely. But yeah, I like writing there, but I do have to eventually start segueing out of there. So anyway, how you guys been doing? This is Into the Abyss. I'm Kevin Lucia with Tom McDonough and Chuck Breyer. Coming to you virtually, practicing safe social distancing. How you guys been doing in the current conditions?
Well, I was just talking to Chuck how I made my wife and mother-in-law some pasta with put some homegrown parsley and some sweet basil in there. And unfortunately, since it decided to snow here in New York State, my rest of the garden's probably not doing so well. It's a good things happen, bad things happen situation.
How about you, Chuck? I know we have visual proof behind you how busy you've been.
Yes. I can just brighten the light in here. There you go. Bring up the lights a little bit. I've been working on the house till very depressing hours of the night, every single night, 7 days a week. We're getting close. There'll be some drywall going up this week, so we're getting back to the point where we can actually re-inhabit the living room. So I've got so just so you're aware, I have a 3-bedroom house for the 5 of us, and right now our little house for 5 is either half under construction or half crowded with stuff that was from the living room. I've been trying to do stretch out. I literally can't stretch out. Can't work on my shoulders because there's actually not a place on the floor large enough for me to lay down and stretch out right now. I work during the day standing in one spot, and I don't have a place to spread out, and everyone's kind of crowded into 3 chairs. So it's either lay in your bed or crowd into the family room, and that's about it. So it's not fun, but we're getting close. I miss being in the horror cave, so I brought out some of my own geekery here, the Dark Knight and the Necromancer.
Nice.
I got some Dark Souls and some Castle Crashers influences going on here. But, yeah, you can see right behind me, this is the back half of the family room because there is no wall, and there's the wiring that I put up recently, so I've been doing a lot of wiring.
Well, when you guys do, I sort of feel like I'm back to the beginning of the horror cave, because obviously it's nicer than it was when I first started, but I'm adding all sorts of things, so it's like in varying states of, I've got things I'm putting up, things I'm making, things I'm hanging, signs I'm putting up, so it'll be enhanced a little bit by the time you guys get back. So anyway,
I will say you guys have missed out on the fun here. I was gonna say you guys missed out on the fun here. There's been a lot of at some point you just start drinking and you just start working up the ceiling. So there's been a lot of crawling around the rafters and trying to not fall after 3 shots through the rafters. I've been successful so far, so I've done well. There's been close calls, but yeah, we're doing good.
So on that note, why don't we head toward our libations and upcoming horror things that we're looking forward to. Why don't you start us off, Tom, with what are you using to ease the quarantine blues this evening?
Well, I'm going back to an old usual. I'm having some Screwball peanut butter whiskey. Got it from C&D Liquors down on Upper Front Street. Took a little bit longer because no one's allowed in the store anymore. They were doing that whole call us and we'll drop it off. We'll put it in your car.
Curbside, yeah.
I just went there. I didn't even see that. I'm like, oh, okay, can I still order? She goes, yeah. She goes in and makes the purchase. And as always, goes down nice and smooth, makes you feel a little bit better. And as we were talking about earlier, Kevin, it's nice to transfer from beer because after a while, your bladder can only take so much.
Yeah.
So this is older.
Yep.
And we tried this with some Hershey syrup. It wasn't too bad.
Yep, yeah, that's what I've got here. I'll be getting that eventually sometime myself. Chuck, you had a wonderfully green, what is that you're drinking?
Yes. So this is actually a gift from my mom. She sent it. It's Tipsy Cow Shamrock Mint from Spirits in Appalachian, and it tastes exactly like a spiked shamrock shake. It's heavy and creamy.
That's a really cool.
It's very good, actually. I'll try to save you guys some. It's very good. The funny story, so there was no drinking ever in my house growing up, and but I've, obviously drinking now. My mother never drank until very recently, and this was something that she gave to me, so I kind of feel like I'm the bad influence my mother warned me about when I was younger. I became the bad influence she warned me about.
All right, so I've got a variety of things tonight. I am rocking something that I've just discovered recently, Cask and Crew Ginger Spice. It's really, really good. That's where I think I found my sweet spot. I'm not forsaking beer, but like Tom said, I've never been a whiskey drinker, and I've only been experimenting with whiskeys probably since August. I tried the straight whiskeys. That was a bit too much for me. But moving into flavored whiskeys and making mixed drinks, that's where I'm finding is kind of my sweet spot. So what I'm enjoying right now is Cask and Crew Ginger Spice with a splash of ginger ale with jalapenos, lemon and lime, and a nice splash of 607 jalapeno ginger. Now this I got at Whitney Point Spirits. Cask and Crew, I actually got at the Harry L. Drive Liquor. At Harry L. Drive Liquor, I also got Pink Whitney by New Amsterdam. For some reason, when I think of Pink Whitney, God rest her soul, I think of Whitney Houston with a pink wig. I don't know if that's appropriate or not. But Abby bought this a couple months ago. It's pink lemonade vodka. And she found it to be a little too strong for her tastes. I found it to be really yummy. So, and I also will have the Screwball at some point.
Please don't say yummy.
What's that?
Okay, just say tasty. Don't say yummy. Say tasty.
Tasty, yummy, whatever.
Yummy.
So I was gathering my thoughts earlier today of what's on the horrorscape that I'm looking forward to. So I'll let you guys go first. What have you? Because you'll likely cross over to things that I've noticed. What have you guys got on the that you're looking forward to as far as horror stuff coming up? Keeping in mind that with coronavirus, we may be watching it at home and not in the theater.
Yep.
Chuck, why don't you start first? Because I can't think of one.
Well, I'm trying. I gotta have to kind of remember the titles. I can mention one right now. I'll need a second for the other one, but the trailer for Peninsula Drops.
Oh.
That is the sequel to Train to Busan.
Okay.
So I'm very excited for that. I enjoyed. I actually talked about Train to Busan in my top 5, international horror films. So I am excited to see what they do. It looks like they're probably going with a bigger budget this time, so it'd be fun to see what they can do with kind of special effects and stuff. I mean, obviously horror is not a genre where special effects are the most important thing, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. Given, I guess, more bandwidth. They've had some success financially and critically, so let's see what they do.
Very cool. Anything else?
I'll let you guys go because I'm going to have to look it up right now. There's
Okay.
another movie I just saw the trailer for.
The only things that I saw that were on my radar, what is already out that you brought my attention to that maybe the next Saturday night movie club can be like aquatic horror or something like that, was that Sea Fever. I saw a lot of people posting about Sea Fever, that it was released, direct to video or VOD, whatever. That looks really, really interesting. You actually were the one that tagged me about Lovecraft Country with JJ.
Yeah, that's the one.
JJ Abrams and Peele. Jordan Peele. That looks really, really good too. That looks like kind of like Stranger Things, but earlier and in the South. That I'm looking forward to that. Halloween Kills, of course, which we may have already talked about this, and again, who knows whether we're going to be watching that in the theater, if we're going to be watching that, at home. I also saw that there is going to be finally a Conjuring 3, which I am really looking forward to. Now, I have to say this, I think I've said this before. The real Ed and Lorraine Warren were terrible, terrible people. They were awful. They're probably scam artists, and they were not nice people at all. So it's best to look at Patrick Wilson, and I can't remember who plays Lorraine.
Vera Farmiga.
Yeah, best to look at them as just totally fictional characters. I really enjoy the Conjuring series, and Patrick Wilson went out to say that it's going to be completely different from the other movies, and he's really excited about it. So that makes me excited. I also saw a preview today for The Green Knight, which of course is a classic tale being done by A24, which brought us Hereditary and Midsummer. So that looked really good, and honestly, Chuck, that looked like that was right up your alley, because that was
It is. I did see that. It looks very exciting. I was going to mention that as we came back and started talking about things.
Yeah.
That one burst onto my radar.
Yeah. So.
Is that a remake of the Sean Connery one?
What's that?
Well, Sean Connery was in The Green Knight back in the 1980s, so I'm guessing this is a reboot.
I have no idea because I never saw the one in the 80s. This one looks more like a monster horror film, though. Like folk horror, monster horror.
Dark fantasy,
Yeah.
Dark fantasy.
So, other than that, I haven't really... I feel like I've seen more that have, slipped by my mind. I think we're probably all suffering from, what day is it? What month is it? Wait, it's May? Why is there snow out? So we're all probably struggling a little bit there.
It's drink day as far as I'm concerned.
It's drink day.
Drink day, yeah, drink day. So those are our recommendations. Things we're looking forward to, our drinking recommendations.
I will mention a new one. Actually, I got one more to mention.
Okay.
As I've said before, I'm a huge fan of Josh Malin's writing, and he just revealed the cover for his new book, and it looks fantastic. I love the artwork on it.
So this is not a horror movie? Yeah. It's Goblin.
No,
go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it looks like a very much a dark Alice in Wonderland type influence. It looks like it's got some ghost house type influences. It's got the labyrinth. I love the fact they made it look retro. They intentionally made it look like a weathered cover of a book. It looks awesome. Obviously, I don't know a lot about the story, but I know Josh is a fantastic writer, and the vibe of the cover, it looks like it's right up my alley with this dark Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, so Josh Malerman's Goblin, which it looks wonderful. It was originally, I think it was limited edition through Cemetery Dance first. I know it came out. I know Goblin came out somewhere else first as limited edition. That was one of those ones where I'm like, oh, I want that, but it's so expensive. But now it's coming out traditional. Also, too, even though we talk about upcoming horror, Josh Mallerman has been writing a free serial novel, just boom, called Carpenter's Farm. Now, I haven't read it yet because I traditionally am not much into electronic reading, but if you're into that, I would check that out. So yeah. So our drinks, I got my drinks at Whitney Point Liquors and Harry L. Drive Liquors. You got yours from where, Chuck?
Well, technically from Mom, but it's from Spirits of Appalachian.
That's best, Mom. Spirits of Appalachian. You got yours at C&D Liquors. All right. So those were our recommendations.